is brought to the country on behalf of the farmer directly. We don't have any middle people in there. So let's do this real quick because I think we've run out of time. But before I do that, I think it's good to recognize this gentleman here. His name is Jeff. Jeff is a Kenyan, just like us. He believes in kahawa. We've gone with him to the kahawa farms in Kenya. He knows them like black and white. So thank you, Jeff, for adopting us. So yeah, it's just about kahawa. We just said kahawa here too. It's drink coffee, drink kahawa. Who are we? We are a direct-to-farm importer of East African coffee with a focus on Kenyan cooperative farms and their sustainability and well-being. That means everything we do here, we do it because of that farmer. We are based in Jacksonville, Florida, and that's where we do our controlling of all the coffee, the manufacturing of the cow-branded coffee in the US and abroad. We have an experienced and diversified team of American and Kenyan innovators that understand the coffee category and its potential for continued growth. We are relationship driven in all aspects of this life. Now, the source of this coffee. Kenya is a top 10 in the world coffee bean. Kenyan coffee is a crucial sector for the Kenyan economy, ensuring a reliable supply. Our rich mountainous soil and hand-cultivated crops ensure quality and uniquely flavored beans. Drawing from 700,000 independent farmers and cooperatives results in consistent supply to our Jacksonville port facility. And I think right about now, how many containers do you have coming back in?
I have 4 containers in right now. I have a few more on their way. I have some in Long Beach, California, and in Jackson.
And that is the coffee from the farmers directly.
Wow.
Yes. So production in 100-pound lots results in paper aroma and consistent taste in each and every packet. And you guys are witness. It's there. You took it since yesterday. So we have the coffee. Kenyan, for that matter. Kahawa is committed to helping improve Kenyan farmers' lives by purchasing directly from their farm, from them, or their cooperative societies, not by layered auctions or middlemen. We ensure more income reaches Kenyan farmers than open market trading, common among most US coffee companies. We support Kenyan women entrepreneurs through branded kiosk businesses. We also sponsor a local orphanage. There's a school running right now in Kenya that is supported through this venture, serving approximately 500 kids. We export justly to allow for affordable consumption overseas. Now, in the diaspora, of course, because of that Kenyan element, I have decided to be very bullish about this. So I told Jeff, this is my market, and I'll work with it and take it to where it's supposed to get to. So I work with him and others, and I do the marketing within the diaspora. Of course, we have Jeff, who's a part of us, and we have the other gentleman. He's in Kenya right now, Simon Nyaka, who's a part of this operation. That's our coffee. We have the bright, we have the house roast, and we have the bowl roast. And that's where we operate from Jacksonville, and to those points that are shown. What has not been shown out here is a Californian location. So that's basically what we have. And if there's any question, we are here to take one or two. Please.
How do you package your coffee? Because some products, they get it from Kenya. When they get to the US, they're packaged with US names and brands and all that stuff. Thereby the Kenyan name disappears. How are you packaging yours?
Ours is clear. We call it kahawa. We brand it using our own name. We don't
what about
Kenya.
the manufacturer and all that stuff?
No, it's on the label. If you look at it right there, it's 100% Kenyan coffee. It's written out there for everybody to see, and the sources, even the picture of a farmer in Kenya doing that. Yes.
The coffee comes in green, and we roast it. Our roasting facility is in Jacksonville. So we roast it and package it in Jacksonville, which we own fully as well, just to keep the costs down. If you look at a pie of everything that goes into a cup of coffee and all the different inputs, what we noticed was there's an inequality on the farmer's side. And the only way we saw the best way to fix that is by removing middlemen out of it and then taking equitably what people have put into this source and sharing the funds in that fashion.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, why don't you give back to the community by roasting our coffee in Kenya? You send like a factory within a particular county where the coffee is being grown, and then you bring it to US when it's already packaged, because that is part of bioprotection.
And we've looked into that. Our biggest problem is a container sits on the seas for anywhere between 45 and 60 days. We look at about a 6 to 9 month shelf life on roasted coffee. When you grind it, it goes a little bit less. So with those variables, it becomes more challenging. The FDA is a little more challenging when you're bringing in a final product versus taking a green raw product and turning it into a final product in the United States. But at some point, we are very, very interested into doing something like that, particularly with the K-Cups. Maybe because those have a longer shelf life, they put nitrogen inside of the ground coffee in there, so it keeps them last a little bit longer. But it's something that we've all explored. We've looked at some places off the Mombasa Road to try to put together something where we could be roasting and packaging it in Kenya.
Patrick, once again, I wish to know how Kahawa Yetu fares in terms of pricing here or in the markets that you do supply. Compared to the other brands from other nations? And secondly, in terms of profits, how much or what percentage goes back to the farmer? Yesterday we saw from one of the presenters that cocoa in Zambia, I think, or the African country, we have only had 6% are going back to the farmers who actually do toil the ground.
Yeah.
So how does it work when it comes to Kahawa Yetu?
I'll answer part of that question and let Jeff finish up with me. What we actually will not compromise with anybody who's selling coffee in the US is that our coffee is not just any coffee, because we know they use our coffee to do blending. We have maintained our sales and we are very competitive in the market. Of course, we cannot compete with all these people who are putting in the blends in them and having all these shelves within the stores in there. But our coffee, being the Arabica, the 100% pure coffee, our prices are quite competitive, and we are doing well. I think so far we are entering this market in a very big way. We have captured the market in Jacksonville and St. Augustine very, very well. And the other places where we are trying to show you, we have actually penetrated into those. And when these people taste the Kenyan coffee that we actually provide to them, they just walk away from everything else. The second part of the question was how much goes to the farmer?
So back to the profitability. We buy the coffee green directly from the farmers. At this point in our stage, we have a business plan and a market plan that will lead to us bringing more money back to the Kenyan farmers at the end after everything's up and running and more profitable. But we're buying it above the Nairobi Stock Exchange prices. So we're buying the coffee at a premium already from them. And our intent is, after we establish the market, find the best equilibrium price where we can move the most volume and then take some of that money and bring it back to the Kenyan farmers, but not in just a monetary way. Look at what they need. We want to talk to them. Are there shoes, school fees? What is it that they need, and help get those needs taken care of?
But the percentage of the money that goes back to them is relatively almost higher than any other. Because when you look at the margins that we normally have, because we've avoided the middle people in between, we make sure that whatever we sell, and actually their coffee, the cap comes, the bridge comes in as soon as the orders are made from the warehouse facility, because the coffee is owned by them up to that level. When the orders come through, that's when they get paid immediately. Yeah, so. Yeah.
And sorry, it's public knowledge that coffee is run by cartels, the coffee market, globally and from a local perspective.
Right.
How have you been able to actually run your business without actually perhaps getting in trouble with those that have been there for...
They're not happy. They are not happy with us. They're not happy with the way we handle things and what we're doing. But at the end of the day, the only way to fix that problem is economic empowerment of the farmers. Their goal is to keep the farmers oppressed as much as they can, because that gets them to keep getting this great product for almost nothing and then reaping the rewards. So I can't say we're perfect, but we're working our hardest to avoid those, buy it, avoid the manipulation, the distrust, the lying. Short of being able there, picking up the coffee and sleeping with it all the way to the port of Mombasa, and then being back in Jacksonville and waiting for it to show up and open up and check every bag, we do the best we can building relationships on the ground and making sure that we are fulfilling our obligation, our mission to make sure that the farmers are getting equitably paid for their services. And And again, going back to it, if we can empower the farmers will stop the cartels. You know, what happens are the cartels lie to them. And it's not their fault that they don't understand and can't see the global market. When someone tells you they're going to give you 80 shillings for a kilo, and the other guy's saying, I'm only giving you 60, of course I'm going with 80. But what happens is, well, we're only going to give you 20 now and then maybe 60 later, and then someone shows up and says, oh, I'm so sorry. The market didn't take the coffee. But it's a complete lie. So our goal is to pay them up front and establish that relationship with technology and really communicate with them heavily.
So in a nutshell, actually what it is when the farmers themselves are the ones who are controlling where the coffee is going. So they know.
2 years when you're very successful, and I buy coffee and I rebrand it and name it Kahawa, you know, how will you protect? You can't protect a noun, right? And a trademark. So I can make coffee and name it Kahawa and sell it here.
Kahawa is trademarked. It can be trademarked. Oddly enough, in 1995, Starbucks trademarked Kahawa originally, but they let it lapse.
Okay.
So we've picked it up from there.
Oh, so it is trademarked. Okay, because as a noun, I think we can.
Yeah, and I agree with it now, but it's because it's Swahili. Yeah, I think there's something about that where we're allowed to pick it up as a trademark.
What if I'm interested in being a distributor for your product?
We have those programs with us, and I think we can actually talk about that in a little while this afternoon.
And I'm very, very interested in whatever we can do to facilitate. I'm just the middle person. I'm nobody in this. I'm the guy that roasts the coffee. This is Kenyon's coffee, you know, and I'm blessed to have the opportunity to help and work with everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm just here to facilitate. So any way that we can get this coffee out there and get that money back to the farmers,
Well, actually, I am very excited you said that because, you know, I'm very passionate about my Kenyan students who live in America.
Yes.
So, as I asked my gentleman over there, I would love to work with you to bring some interns so we can walk them through
Absolutely.
the Kenyan coffee here in America so that when they're talking about Kenyan products, they have an understanding of exactly what these products are, what the value is, so that eventually when Ralph steps down, which he's going to have to, you know, I'll have somebody ready to step in his shoes.
Don't say that, but yes, thank you, but that works. I can't do this without Ralph.
So you'll be hearing from me.
Oh,
Great,
sure.
I'm excited.
Can I piggyback off of what she said? Would you be interested in also doing tours? Without, like if we've got our little Kenyan community in Atlanta, to get our kids in a bus and drive over and get them to see the experience. Because I remember when we were young, we used to get the House of Manji tour, or you'd go to one of these places in the industrial area, and those memories.
Actually, we have that. For the people who have been interested in being partners with us, we have actually had those tours in our facility in Florida. So we are open. I mean, for us, the success of this project is getting our people know what it is we're trying to do, and then we give it over to them. So we are open to all of that. We have those kind of programs. We even traverse the country to go to all these places and talk about Kahawa. So we are trying. We're getting to a level, but yes, we're on there.
And even more so, we would love to bring coffee safaris back into Kenya. I've talked to Othaya, I've talked to a bunch of the cooperatives, and they're very, very interested in bringing people out there and seeing what it goes through. It's amazing. The process is, I mean, a lot of you have grown up on it, but for me to walk in and see how they do this, how labor intensive, and how much care and love they have for this little cherry is absolutely breathtaking.
Thank you much. We are having the last cups of the Kahawa are almost going away, so enjoy.
Thank you very much, Ralph. That's the beauty of this conference, is the interactiveness. And so you can see we are also trying to mix up business, social, business.
For those of you who I didn't see yesterday, just reintroduce myself. My name is Fruit Sheikh. Born and raised in Kenya, 5th generation. Born in Eldoret, so there's 2 of us at least here. I moved to the US in 1998 or 1999 actually. After growing up in Kenya, I went to school in the UK, did my undergrad at London School of Economics, did my master's in property valuation and law, and I went back to Kenya after that, worked for Citibank for a few years, started a business, built the business, was financially very successful, but as I said yesterday, I wasn't really enjoying it because I felt like I was ripping off the country by doing business the customary way of magendo, and more magendo. So I came to the US and I set up shop here, and I've been here for 15 years. I own a real estate investment and development company, and we do real estate developments in New Jersey, overlooking Manhattan, and in Connecticut. A few years ago, I decided it's time for me to give back and start getting involved in what was going on in Kenya and contribute to, I saw the word poverty reduction somewhere. I think it's more about poverty alleviation. We need to eradicate poverty and uplift the whole society. And so my way of doing this and getting involved was really to continue something I'm doing in the States. As a hobby here, I was investing in small businesses, friends and family, and I started doing this back in Kenya. Not with friends and family, but just looking and sourcing out entrepreneurs who had good businesses that needed growth capital and needed cash to grow their business and also needed skills. And so, you know, I got involved, and from there I started mentoring other entrepreneurs, and it's been a very, very rewarding experience. And I'm really here to encourage you to get involved in the same thing. You guys live in the States. One of the biggest problems we have in Kenya is that Kenyans themselves don't understand this concept of stocks and shares and owning pieces of company and equity investments, whereas in the US, you're exposed to it. If somebody wants to start a company in New York or in LA or in Idaho, you know, they put together a business plan, they go to some seed capital or angel investors, and you know, next thing you know, they've got $500,000 going. In Nairobi or Mombasa or in Nakuru, it's very hard for anybody to do this. The only people actually doing it are foreigners. The only people investing in these Kenyan entrepreneurs are foreigners. And they're coming in with their terms and conditions, which are frankly not the best for our society. There's nothing wrong with it, and we're very grateful. I'm very grateful that they're doing it, because without them, we'd be 10 years behind. But it's really important that we encourage, or that we get involved, you get involved in investing in Kenyan entrepreneurs, because that's what's going to create jobs. That's what's going to uplift the society by creating jobs. People have incomes, they send their kids to school. And by you doing it, then hopefully your brothers, your cousins, your sisters, your families back in Kenya, they also get involved in investing in entrepreneurship and investing in the growth of the country. As we all know, you know, the bulk of society is job creation, and this is really, really critical. And so one of the reasons, or one of the things that we found in our research is that, like I said earlier, many Kenyans don't really see this as a good investment. They want to invest in real estate. So one of the things that I got involved with as well recently is a Shark Tank-like television show called Boiler Room. And there's another one starting on another television channel soon as well. So there's 2 shows. And again, the main purpose of this is not for me to go and make a lot of money, but really to expose and encourage other people to invest in these kind of opportunities and invest in Kenya. One of the things I missed on yesterday that I just want to encourage you all to do, reminding myself as well as Diaspora, is that we are passionate about Kenya, and when we land and we touch the dirt, we feel something in our hearts. But our kids, it's a little harder for them. And
Thank you.
I'm here, I'm seeing nods here. And one of the things I did 2 years ago is I took my children, my oldest was 12 at the time, or 11, so 11, 10, 6, and 1. And I took them to Kenya, and we, rather than go for a 2-week trip, we went for 7 weeks. I let them stay with different family members, we traveled around, I let them go and they got involved in volunteering in a couple of schools. And you know, my kids saw Kenya and from a completely different perspective, because me telling them about Kenya at home in New York is very different from them actually living it. Not only that, frankly, I think kids growing up in the West are very comfortable. They turn on the tap, water comes on. They turn on the light, they flip the switch, the lights come on. So when you get them out of their zone, they really actually start appreciating life in a different perspective. So 2 years later, I'll tell you that the plates at home after dinner are completely clean. There's no more wasted food in the house, which is, for me, a big change in what I see my kids doing. My daughter came back and she actually collected 2,500 books and shipped them to Nairobi. She's 12 years old, so she's helped somebody open 4 libraries. And so this is how we need to keep them engaged, so that, like the lady said earlier on, this is the future of Kenya. Our children getting involved, going back and being involved in something like that. So with that said, you know, again, I'm not here pitching anything on my own. I have a real estate investment company in New Jersey. I'm very comfortable, thank God. I just want to encourage you to invest not only in real estate. I think Jonathan is doing a great job, and the gentleman who spoke yesterday, Mr. Oshiro, selling plots, and we should invest in real estate because that is its own asset class. But we should also invest in entrepreneurs in Kenya in a very systematic way. I'm not saying just write them a check. You know, look at their business plans, ask questions. You know, if they want $100,000 but they need 20,000 now, give them the 20 now, let them perform, let them meet their hurdles, give them the next 20, etc., etc. And the other very critical thing, other than your dollars, is your skills. There's a big shortage of skills on continent. There's a lot of passion, a lot of drive, but a lot of the entrepreneurs lack the skills to grow their businesses from this level to this level, in terms of accounting, governance issues, hiring the right people, etc., etc. So these are some of the things I touched on yesterday, and I just wanted to kind of remind you about them today. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Joseph. I just want to comment and thank you. That is a quality presentation for us. The thing that you alluded to about the lack of technical expertise, complementary to that, corollary to that is the access to this talent, which is available, especially in Diaspora. So the challenge for us is that how do we develop mechanisms whereby we have a pool of these available expertise and they can be accessed by the needed communities in Kenya. That's the challenge that we are facing. So if you have to share with that, that would help.
No, and I've been thinking about that as well. And as we saw, the doctors have gone back and made a few trips there. One of the things I think I'm going to try and do is work with a couple of Diaspora organizations to kind of put and create a couple of trips where Diaspora should go back and we spend time at places like IHOP on Tong Road and various other institutes so that we can give classes, working classes, practical lessons to entrepreneurs. And so I think that the best way to do this is really to do this, you know, to really harness the energy from here, organize the effort, and you take a group of people over and do that. Number one. Number two, I'm going to try and work with some of the incubators in Nairobi, and there are plenty of incubators, by the way, people like Synapis, started by a young lady out of Texas. Incubators like the Acumen Fund is got one, Unreasonable Institute is there, to try and see if we can start some kind of a matching program. Again, I think the Diaspora here, people like David are doing a phenomenal job in bringing us together. So now we need them to help us a little bit more and kind of connect. And so I think really one of the ways you can do this is if we can individually mentor individual entrepreneurs. And the Diaspora organizations are the ones to help channel this. So and I'm going to try and put some time into this and make it happen. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks.
First of all, thank you especially the Kahawa people. I mean, it takes coffee to keep academic minds in true functioning mode. And my role is to actually mentor our young people so that I saw the $1 million houses that are being built out in Kenya. I want our young people to be able to follow their career trajectory so that they can buy them, they own them. And I said I'll be coming to hang out with them when they buy, because I don't think I'll personally ever buy it. And because I'm personally, my role in life is to really add value to others. When I add value to others, I'm happy. I can die poor. I don't really care about material things. And just a little bit about myself. I'm Esther Ngumbi, born and raised from Kwale, Kenya. I'm a hardcore scientist. When I'm not doing science, I'm passionate about many, many things. I mean, people always say, Esther, what is one thing I stand for so many things? But a little bit of my journey so that you don't know how, I was born and raised in a very small community in Kwale, Kenyan Coast, Matuga Girls, and then went to KU for my bachelor's degree, my master's degree in KU, then went to Israel, spent 2 years in Israel, and then finally I came to the US, got my PhD in 2011. I spent actually a year here in Georgia Tech in 2012. I spent a year here and then went back to Auburn, so I'm an Auburn girl. And I didn't even come with my Auburn fan. But as I said, and actually I'm challenged because we're talking about the young people and they're not here, of course. Thank you for reminding us that the next conference that we need to have our young people here. Because they need to hear from the people who are doing the architect. They need to be here. They need to be hearing because tomorrow they're the ones who are buying these houses. I'm sure it's not us buying this. And so they need to be here. We can't just be coming by ourselves and leaving them. I think the next conference, I don't want to speak to adults, I'll speak to the young people. So please bring them to me and I will work with them, and I'm sure there are so many other people that will want to do that. But for me, I'll just share a few things about leadership and what it will take to be a 21st century leader. And I am a mentor with Clinton Global University Initiative. I've worked with them since 2011. And I've worked with the MasterCard Foundation Scholars. So I'm a mentor with them. I've mentored for President Obama Young Leadership Fellows. So I'm a seasoned mentor. I work with students. I always say my Facebook, my Twitter, my social media is always in buzz with questions, and I'm there for them. I'm there for them because I know personally it took a lot of people to make me who I am, and I want to be there. And I want to be there for anybody that needs to use me, use me. I'm always saying I need to be used. I will give, and if I can't have your answer for you, I'll reach within my networks. Believe me, I have a lot of network, and I will reach out and find out the answers for you. So one of the first things that I always tell my young people, the students, is like, have clear goals. Where is it you want to go? Do I want to be a scientist? Then, if you want to be a scientist, you have to set your action steps. Which road do I need to be taking so that I get to become that scientist? What other mentors do I need to bring along? If you want to be an engineer, you want to be a biologist, then start grooming your team that will get you there, that will help you get where you're going. So you can't want to be an engineer and start hanging out with business people. You'll never get to your engineering track. So try to find out who is it that you need to get you to where your journey is. So what networks do you need? If you're planning to be a businessman, if you're planning to be a real estate agent, you need to be in Lordship Africa. That is the people you need to hang out with because they will clearly let you know what you need. Those are the people who've been doing that thing for 35 years. You need to hang out with them and learn from them. And then you also need to have your mentors. Believe you me, in the journey of life, you'll need mentors. So you need to identify them. And if you don't, ask your parents, ask the people that you interact with. And I believe we live in a country where if you reach out to somebody, they will help you. People will help you. Even ourselves, I've had this, we want to reach out to our people. We are all already mentors, so our young people have mentors already. The children who are here, the youth who are here, reach out to us, reach out to other people and find your mentors. Secondly, you have to keep branding yourself. Everybody has a brand. Who are you? If they talk about me, I'm a scientist. I have the middle name as Science, Miss Science. So be known as that science, so people can tell who you are. Keep branding yourself. And that brand will move along with you for many, many, many years. I tell you, like I'm in academia. Even I got married, but I can't even switch my name because I've built my brand. And I'm not letting it go. Then we have attitude. I always say to my young people, attitude is everything. How do you present yourself? How do people see you? If I talk with you, the first impressions really really matter. And if I see you have an attitude, believe you me, attitude will never take you anywhere. I've never seen attitude taking people anywhere. So have a good attitude and always learn. Be inquisitive. Talk to people. Find out what it is they can, how they can add value to your life. It is important, so keep branding yourself. Embrace failures. I didn't say that the journey was gonna be really easy. It's never easy. Every day I fail and I'll keep failing. But you have to embrace failure and celebrate your successes. I know a lot of us never like to talk about successes. I mean, I was just sitting and we were talking, somebody was saying, oh, just last week you were in the White House. You're not talking about it. I know we don't talk about it, but celebrate it. It's part of you. I mean, you did not get it there because you got there because of your own small steps that took you there. And I always say, Kenyans, we are talented. We are smart. I've gone to high-level meetings and I've seen Kenyans. So you better clap for yourselves. And be proud of who we are. I mean, as I say, Kenyans, you are just something special. You're a blessed nation and you're blessed people. So let's never forget that. So, okay, I know I write so much notes, and I say for the college students, scholarships, there are many scholarships out there. Start knowing what scholarships will I need. Google, ask. And I know a lot of scholarships take a lot of essays. Put a personal touch in your essays. A lot of us, everybody has a personal story. Actually, I know when we read essays, we actually are more attracted to the personal side rather than your credentials. Yes, credentials matter, but when you put that personal touch, when we realize what journey it has taken you to be where you are, and where are you going, that reader of your essay that's trying to give you this will give you that scholarship. So never ever just think credentials are the ones that matter. Credentials matter, yes, of course. But when we read, we look for other things. We look for many other things apart from credentials. So put to us your personal story. Be active in your own. Don't be just, and I say, I'm a very weird scientist. I normally say that because a lot of my peers are busy in the lab and they never get time to get around it. Of course, I've gotten into trouble. I say the first time I went for a Clinton meeting, I was doing my PhD, and my professor actually was so mad at me. He called me in the lab and he made just fuss out of everybody, and I cried. I remember crying. But then I went to a Clinton meeting, and then the next time I came, I had a picture with me and President Clinton. I shared it to him. The next minute, he was sending the picture to the college and saying, look at my student. Look, she's hanging out with President Clinton. It was just like, okay. I mean, but realize that, yes, you have those kind of clashes, but you have to never ever let your passion run away from you. Believe you me, I can say academia has taken me, but my passion. And remember, it's going to be hard, but volunteer. Let your passion for the things you want to do run and show it and do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, I say we also look for a very well-rounded person. You know, it's a world where it's not just one thing that will take you to that door. A lot of many other things. So I always encourage our young people be there. And I tell you, young people are doing it. My mentees with Clinton Global, they're amazing. I look at this 21-year-old, I'm like, what was I doing when I was 21 with my life? They are doing, I mean, I look at them and I'm like, whoa. And that's what I hope our young Kenyans can be like that. And I say, I have students from Nepal, from everywhere across the world, they're there. But our young people are doing much. Be authentic. Be authentic. Remember, that's your brand. Authenticity is your brand. Don't be trying to be somebody else. Your brand, you never have to be like anybody else. You are your own unique you. And be you. And that one, because people will always appreciate who you are. Finally, do not give up soon. You know, I was here since yesterday listening to people. Some people have had their dreams for 8 years. Remember that guy who talked about the stock exchange? What did he say? 8 years. He's still building it. You haven't got any drive, but you're still building it. 8 years. I always say, like, I have dreams that I've carried on for. Personally, I want to build a science and leadership in Kenya, and I'm working towards. I have a school right now. We have 103 students. I have a library. And I always say, do things. My story about the library is very crazy, and I'll share it just because I want you to know who I am. So I've always wanted to have a library where people can come and quenching their thirst for books. And so what I did, I collected books from Auburn University, and I was going to take them to Kenya. First of all, to just get the books there. So I collected the books. Crazy Kenya accent. People were like, some of them would just give me that look like, you're crazy. But I don't care about being called crazy, because for the love of what I do, you can call me crazy. Tell me what you want to do. At the end of the day, I know what I'm doing. It's not about me, it's about our young Kenyans. So I will end up here. Eventually, everybody took a book on my behalf, and I was the last person to board the plane. But today, I have a $10,000 facility, library facility. We opened it last year, and it is there. So for our young people who say, I will wait until I have money, you start now. You'll never have that money that you think you'll have. And reach out to us. I believe all of us, the adults that are here, the professionals that are here, let us mentor. Let us reach out and pull another person. Do not ever shut those doors that helped you get in. Reach and carry 10 others, and I think I'm out of my time. And always have people who can attest to who you are. I always say that you're influencers. They're the people who will, even when you're not there, they'll be talking about you. They'll be saying, I know that young Kenyan girl. She is amazing. But you don't build that unless you have to keep branding yourself. You have to keep and walk the talk. I don't like to hang with people who don't do what they say. Walk the talk. Thank you. I'm done.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. That we need a few crazy people. That's what Steve Jobs said in building Apple computers, is it not? I know we're getting hungry. I know we need a break. But before we take a break.
Nice to meet you guys. Was not here yesterday, I'm sorry. I'm told I missed a lot. I'm trying to catch up with that. I want to drink a lot of coffee. I want to thank the speakers before me. I wish I could say something better than they did. Someone told me that it's a trick to that. Line up, everybody slap them, they never forget for the rest of their lives. Terrible speaking was. I'm here to speak on behalf of KESA. KESA stands for the Kenya Scholars and Studies Association. It's an association based in Ohio, founded by 4 scholars, Kepo Tiso, Maurice Ontabi, Francis Scotty, and myself, way back 9 years ago. And we organize this forum for scholars that is really intended to advance studies and research interest in Kenya. We run a number of things, but among the highlights of the year are normally conferences. We ran a conference here in the US and one in Kenya. In fact, the Kenya conference ended yesterday at the Multimedia University, where 14 countries were represented. So we do that, but in addition to organizing this, we also run a journal for published research that people have done. We also print books, or really publish books from what our contributors bring to the conference. And more than that, we also work as mentors to young Kenyan scholars. Now, talking about mentors, based on what the previous speaker said, that's where we also try to add value. There are a lot of young Kenyans who come to the US especially and get lost in between. And I don't want to bore you with the stories on how there's a lot of money in the US. Just go there and pay your school fees. You know, it doesn't work like that, you all know that. So we're here to do that. And so my question here for you, maybe for you, to me is, so what do you want me to do? What I want you to do is, if you can be our sponsor. There are a lot of spending that goes into this, and especially in promoting the young graduate students and undergraduate students. Mr. Kulondu knows this very well. SAP has been very effective with us. He's worked with us all the years. They've done a great job. But more than that, we have students who attend these conferences, and sometimes they don't have the funds to really pay for what it takes to be in a professional scholarly conference. So if you want to really, if you really love your country, here's your chance. Attach it to a young scholar, and the scholar will never forget you. They might probably be able to buy those houses one day, and you'll be happy that you're part of it. So that's what it is. Finally, I want to say here that this conference that we run is not only meant for professors, it's for everybody, tenured, non-tenured, business people. Come and present, showcase your work that relates to Kenya. So you're all welcome. Our conference this year, which I'm leading in terms of organizing, will be here in Atlanta. It will be in the Marriott Marquis downtown. It's going to run from September 8th to September 10th. Ideally, the functional days are 9th and 10th. That's Friday and Saturday. So if you want to go to our website, and it looks like the system did not work, is kessa.org, KESSA.org, and you can get the information on what it is we do. Beyond that, I'm going to ask, and again, thank you the organizers for this wonderful event. I have some flyers, and I'm going to leave a few leaves on the tables around. If you're keen on this, please join us. There are a few faces here that I know. Met Jen, a couple of people here. David has been to our conference. So it's a great event. I'm sure those who've been there will attest to this. Otherwise, my name is Gichana. I'm the treasurer, and the website, our site manager. If you go there, you'll see that that's what we're trying to do. So bring it up, bring it on. Let's work together. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Charles.